What's going on? What's going on, brothers? If you can hear me loud and clear, press A1 in the live stream chat. Who's here? Who's here? If you can hear me loud and clear, press a 1 in the live stream chat. Mayday, Mayday. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Who's here in the building, man? It's a beautiful Monday, right? It's a beautiful Monday, sunny, wherever you are. Whether it's cold, let me know. Who's here, bro? Everybody, who's here, man? What's up? What's up, Aaron? What's up, Trex? Who else is here, bro? Who else is here? Hit the like button too. I agree. Who else is here? We've got 13 people here so far. I get a couple ones. Robert, Ray, awesome. So let's get straight into it, okay? Couple announcements first. All right, crash out session is still in effect, so we'll be switching to a different platform later on, so IP can crash out. And all right, throughout the stream, support the channel, hit the super chats, hit the PayPal donation, show some love, hit the like button too. All right, that'd be greatly appreciated. Always show support. Thank you very much. And so let's get straight into it, okay? So I want to speak about, right, a couple of things here, all right? And it's been on my mind for a minute. And you can see the title of this stream, right, is called Control Your Lust, or in few words here, and I'll bring it up on my channel, right? Okay. The title of the stream is simply called Men Must Control Their Lust or Risk Losing everything. Shannon Sharpe case. So now we have to admit that lust is a very powerful emotion. Okay. And if you don't control it, it can ruin you, right? It can be the end of days for you. Now, we've all seen the Shannon Sharpe case, right? Big news a couple of weeks ago, and hopefully it goes well for him. But that could have been avoided if Shannon Sharpe controlled his lust. Okay. Now, I'm going to speak on Shannon Sharpe's case for a bit, and then I'll talk about my own experience, okay, in controlling lust and why it's very important that brothers need to control that emotion specifically. Okay. So with Shannon Sharpe, right, this is a brother that has been dealing with a OF chick. Okay. He's around, how old is he? Shannon Sharpe, he's around 50s. Shannon Sharpe age. So he's around 56 years old, okay? And the chick he was dealing with, right, is, let me see. She is early 20s, right? And 20, 21, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, let me know. Let me see if I can find the age. Trying to find it. So yeah, so 19, 20, 21, okay? And that was the key talking point there, right? Why is a brother, right, in his 50s dealing with a 19-year-old chick? Now, I'm not against that. In fact, I encourage it. I encourage older men to be dealing with younger women. So yes, I only see men in their 50s, 60s dealing with 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. I don't care. Okay, I encourage it. Okay, but the problem here is that you need to pick quality women, right? If you're gonna deal with a 19-year-old, 20-year-old chick, right, make sure she's not of low quality. Okay, so essentially, right, men have allowed lust to control them to the point where they see a big boobs, big back, big booty, curvy chick. She's dressed, basically half naked, and they lose all their senses and logic. All right. A man of his status should not be dealing with a chick of that status. There is nothing wrong with a 56-year-old man dealing with a 19-year-old chick. Okay? However, if you're a high value man in his 50s, you need to avoid a certain prototype of woman, right? You need to avoid specific groups of women that can cause you to be in trouble. So, what does that mean? All right. You got to avoid women that are low value and do low value things. Okay. Basically, women that are misses. So, women who are OF models, right? Women who are SCX workers, women who are bums, right? Women who are low value. If you don't control lust, right, lust will have you going after any good looking chick. And you're at a point where you don't care what she does, whether she's a 3 or 4, SCX worker, etc., etc. You just want to smash, have your fun. That's where lust can get you. And lust has ruined men for millennia now. Okay? So that's the problem here with these high value men in the industry. They can't control their lust. They see a young woman, right? Big booty, tits, boobs, sorry, nice figure, and they lose it. They lose it, right? Now, in a perfect world, I encourage Shannon Sharpe to be dealing with 19, 20, 21, 22, so on and so forth, okay? But I would tell Shannon Sharpe, right, you got to go for women who are of better value, right? So a 19-year-old chick, right, you can date one from college, university. You could date one, right, who is doing something with her life from a good family. Women who do OF, in most cases, don't come from good families. Okay? If you can't control the type of woman that you want to deal with, right, you are going to lose everything. Now, I do believe there's some sort of play here. Shannon Sharpe has a reported $100 million deal was in the works, and then suddenly this comes out. Okay, so essentially, right, the woman you deal with, once again, can make you lose everything if you don't control lust. You don't have to smash every chick you come across with. You don't have to smash a chick that she's beautiful, she's gorgeous. She may be the wrong chick for you. Not controlling lust, right, can make a man lose everything. In fact, you become a more powerful man if you don't allow box and lust to control you. So let's break it down even further, right? Okay. Let me apply it to my situation. Okay. Lust will never control IP. I have trained myself so hard to not allow lust to ever control me and my thoughts. And I'll give you an example. Okay. Last year, I'm in Ibiza, Spain, right? And I met this European chick, right? And then she's literally in the same hotel as me. So we're talking, right? We meet the first day. Um, we just start speaking randomly. I actually asked her for help on something because I didn't really get, the hotel Wi-Fi or something like that. And she was in the same block as me, okay? So every morning I was seeing her in dinner, lunch, breakfast, okay? And this chick would literally be in her bikini, right? Literally, I could see everything, her chest, her stomach, and she would just sit near me and try and make conversation and look at me for a long time. And you know that look, dudes who have been with women, right, know that look a woman gives when she wants that stick from you, keeping it PG, right? Every day, this chick will just come to my table, look around, come to my table and sit near me, next to me, try and make conversation. So you know what she wanted there? She wanted to get smashed. She was waiting for IP to ask her, okay, hey babe, let's go back to my hotel room. But not once did I give in. Because you know why? Because I have controlled my lust. Why? You're probably wondering, why IP, why did you smash that chick? Well, number one, I don't know her. I don't know if she's clean. I don't know her background. I just don't know her. Number two, what if she's some shady chick? What if she's a robber or a thief? Or what if she may put my life in danger? You see, some of you guys will have to think like this if you want to control your lust. You have to think like this if you want to control your lust. Because if you don't control it and you meet the wrong woman, you can lose everything or have some sort of negative impact in your life. Can you literally, and be honest here, if you had the most beautiful looking woman right in front of you, the woman of your dreams, right? But you knew that she was crazy, and if you smashed her, it was the end of your life. Can you turn her down? I think a lot of you guys, you can't do that, bro. Lust has a lot of you dudes in a spellbind. And not only normal dudes, average dudes, but even high value men in numerous industries. We done seen billionaires fall to lust. We done seen presidents of nations fall to lust. Speaking about Bill Clinton, right? Talking about Bill Gates, right? Yeah, I just don't get it. I think it was Bill Gates or something like that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It was a billionaire. Okay. So you have to understand that if you don't control lust, if you don't keep it in check, you are going to put yourself in a dangerous situation when you meet the wrong woman, if you meet the wrong woman, right? You ain't gonna smash every chick you come across with. You ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna smash every chick you come across. And it's very important that brothers have a tier system of what I call risky women. So I have a concept here called risky women, and these are women that no matter how good looking, no matter how feminine they are, I just can't deal with them. I put these women into a category called risky women that IP must never deal with. So what are these risky woman traits that I never deal with? Okay. Number one, if she's an SCX worker of any shape or form, no, that's a big no. I don't care if she's packing. I don't care, if she's thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. I'm not dealing with her. Number two, OF chicks. No, risky woman. Number three, high body count chicks. If I have an inkling that a woman that I'm talking to has a high body count, I don't want to deal with her. She's a risky chick. Number four, right? Women who come from, um, you know, uh, horrible family backgrounds. No dad in the picture. No mom in the picture. No, that's a risky chick. I don't care how dime she looks. I don't care if she's a gorgeous woman. I don't deal with women who come from single parent households, right? And there's a lot more, but I term that category as risky women that I can never go near with. But some dudes can't control their lust. Some dudes can't control their lust, and that's a problem. Control it, right? And you become a more powerful man. A man that can control his lust is a very powerful man. It means that he can't fall to the temptations of a woman. A man that can control his lust, right, cannot fall to the temptations of anything, cannot be controlled, and cannot be manipulated by a woman. Because women know the power of the box. They know. But if you can reject it, A man that can reject sex is a very powerful man. How many guys could do what I do in Ibiza, Spain, and turn down a woman in her bikini that was ready to give up right there in a hotel room? The average guy can't. The average guy can't. I remember I'll be on the beach and then I was walking down and then she would just scream my name, IP, 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 jumping, all happy. But I've only known this woman for 3 days. So those are the kind of tuning signals that they will give, that if you're on holiday, they want to get rammed through by you. But not once, never once did I flinch, because you know what? I have actual discipline. Actual discipline is a powerful attribute to any man. Discipline. Control the urges and avoid risky women. You have to control it, brothers. You have to. There's a lot at stake for a man in 2025. You meet the wrong woman, right? And you could lose everything. Things that you've worked for. Men have to grind and build their value. Women are born with value. We as men have to grind to gain wealth, to make money. Don't lose it all in a second because you can't control your lust. So now, back to Shannon Sharpe, right? Okay. This is a brother that is one of the most popular podcasters, and I'm still kind of shocked. This is a brother that, you know, has a lot of eyes on him. Under no circumstance should you be dealing with an OF chick. Under no circumstance, if you're a famous high value man, should you be dealing with an OF chick. Madness, absolute madness. Shannon Sharpe allowed his lust to control him. Shannon Sharpe allowed his lust to control him. Now, once again, there's no issue with an older man dealing with younger women. It's a type of younger woman that you deal with. You don't deal with OF chicks that are 20, 19. You should be dealing with college chicks that are 19, 20, or a chick that's working or doing something with her life in 2025. It's not a game here, bruv. It's not a game. There's a lot at stake here, not only for high value men, but for passport bros and, you know, dudes who are average. You meet the wrong chick, right? It's over. Controlling those urges will catapult you into a different stratosphere. Right? Now, you've noticed how throughout the years, right, there's a concept called compromise. And it's what, you know, spooks, right, agents, spies, right, they use women to take down rich and powerful men. Right? Powerful people use women to take down rich and powerful men. So essentially, right, if you're a man right now, you're a billionaire, all eyes on you, and you have an image of a squeaky clean image. You got wife and children. But then this young secretary, right, comes in the picture. Right? Some dudes would fall to that and start dealing with that, cheating on their wives with the secretary or another woman that's young as well. And then, but that was planned. That was a honeypot because they knew that you can't control your lust. They know that a lot of men can't control their lust. So yes, women have been used to take down rich and powerful men for a long time. So now let's talk about race here. Very important. Let's keep it real, all right, there's some sort of weird dynamic between brothers and Beckys. And it's a very lustful dynamic. Can we talk about how in American colleges you have like a rich, you got a rich Becky, right? Grew up in Alabama, Wisconsin, never met a black guy in her life. Okay. And then she's on college campus. Then you got a brother, right? Who has also never met a Becky, or he has, but it's been bad experiences with Becky's. And he's grew up in a very racial environment in America. So they're both on college campuses. Okay. Now, a dude, a brother who's been through a lot racially, should not be dealing with a white chick or Becky. Keep it coded. Okay. Knowing that that Becky could have, racist affiliates, parents, and they could be dangerous people. So even though the brother knows that, he still indulges in Becky, that particular Becky. And then her dad finds out. Okay. And then it gets hot for the brother because the brother couldn't control his lust, couldn't control the urges. So it's very important that when we have sons, we actually train and mentor our sons to control their urges. And a lot of fathers ain't doing that in 2025. A lot of fathers are not being fathers. They're being friends to their kids. No, that's the wrong way to parent. You must sit your son down, right? And speak to him. Hey, it's a cold world out there. Don't lose everything to a woman. Control your urges, control your lust. Vet your woman for a long time. Vet, 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 vet. How many fathers doing that, bro? So we're seeing multiple brothers fall to lust in sports and media. Don't let me talk about sports, bro. Don't let me talk about sports. It's a problem. So I need you to understand here, as us as average brothers, we have a lot at stake. We're living in a society where it's terrible for us, right? And all of you want to get out the country, right? You want to live great lives abroad. Well, if you can't control your lust in the US and UK, and you meet the wrong woman and you put a baby in her, you are locked down in America forever. Child support, taking your passport taken away. You can't live abroad or travel abroad anymore. You can't live abroad, right? For multiple reasons. Because you couldn't control your lust to not sleep with an American chick, knowing that American women are not the women that you should be having babies with. I have seen so many countless videos of brothers who made that mistake. Wannabe passport bros, doing well so far, right? And I tell brothers, right, listen, on this journey to becoming a passport bro and studying, you can't be dealing with women in your home country. Some brothers have successfully not done so and are now abroad. Some brothers have flinched, unfortunately. They flinched. They couldn't control their lusts and urges. They couldn't stay focused and on the goal. So they deal with Becky, Keisha for quick fix. Then it becomes a common thing. Suddenly Becky, Keisha's pregnant. It's over. A lot of brothers, they've lost it, their freedom, because they couldn't control their lusts and urges. Now you're in America forever. You wish you were in Colombia, in Panama, in Japan, in Spain, Barcelona. You could have been there, but you made that one mistake, bro. Right? And you put a baby in Keisha and Becky in the States. That's on you. That's on you, bro. Because you couldn't control your lusts and urges. right? And you know how I feel. I've told brothers that while you're in America and the UK, you need to avoid smashing any chick that's Western. How many brothers are able to do that? Not many. Not many. How many brothers can go 1 year without smashing? Not many, bro. If your freedom is at risk over here, you shouldn't be smashing any chick in the West that's Western. If it goes wrong, it's over. So that's our risk here as average brothers. That it just takes one flinch and you can lose it all. You can lose it all. It's a cold world out here, bro. It's a cold world out here. And you need to be doing everything you can to protect yourself. I think I've told you I'm in Japan last year. I'm clubbing. Chicks are asking me, IP, love hotel, love hotel. No, no way. I don't know you. How many guys would have been done what I've done this and rejected good-looking Japanese chicks who wanted to go to the Love Hotel? I said no. How many? Not many, bro. Not many. How many? Bro, some of you guys will lose it all for a quick fix. For me, there's a lot at stake for me. There's a lot at stake for me. I can't be dealing with no chick that's in that risky scale. You know what? I have my risky list that I just can't deal with. There's a lot at stake here, bro. Freedom, opportunity. Everything I've worked hard for is at stake if I deal with the wrong chick. And I feel a much more powerful man when I'm rejecting box from woman, bro. When I'm in Ibiza, Spain last year, I see a lot of hungry eyes looking at me. A lot of hungry Beckys. You know, Beckys have that look. When they see a brother, they want a brother. IP never flinched once, bro. But I saw plenty of dudes flinch. I saw plenty of dudes just grab a chick hotel, and I was shaking my head. Those dudes couldn't make it. They can't make it. Those dudes who flinched and ran through chicks in Ibiza, Spain, and Japan, it's over for them. If they meet the wrong chick, it's over for them. And it's not just high value rich men it affects average men like us every day. In the workplace, right? Type of one in the chat. In the workplace, right? Type of one in the chat. Has there been a situation where in the workplace where your female coworker is feeling you? Type of one in the chat. Has there been a situation in the workplace where female coworker is giving you heavy choosing signals? Heavy choosing signals. Bro, I got stories, bro. I got stories. And I'll tell you a story of mine right now, okay? And you can call in and speak about your stories. But type one in the chat if you've been in that situation where a female coworker is giving you heavy choosing signals. Number one, okay? Scenario one. Chick, she's not married, she's single. Not married, single, cool chick, okay? Giving IP heavy choosing signals. Always speaking about how I dress well, blah, blah, blah. Very clear. You just know when a woman likes you. You just know, right? You know that a woman likes you. So this chick, right, clearly giving signals. Not once did I flinch. Not once did I even take her on a date or smash that chick. I ignored it. And if it got too much, I'd have went to HR. But she got the message. She called it down because I just can't deal with smashing or dealing with a female coworker. I'm there to make money. I'm not in work to sleep around with chicks, bro. And I know some. Listen. I've worked in workplaces where dudes were running through chicks in the workplace, and he ain't go and he didn't go too well for either parties. I've been in workplaces where literally during the shift, the guy and the chick, they go to the bathroom, they do some sort of acts, they come out. I've been in those kind of workplace, bro. I've been there. Not once have I smashed a chick at work. Not once have I smashed a chick at work. So that's a single chick that single woman in work that I have completely ignored. Made it very clear it's not happening. It's not happening. And these are good looking chicks. Slim, good looking, young, right? 23, 24, 21 that were thrown at IP. IP never once flinched. Right? Black chicks, white chicks, even in, yeah, even a mixed race chick, IP never once flinched. But some of you bros, some of you brothers, right, would flinch. You would run through those chicks, have some sort of relationship there, bro. That's a recipe for disaster, bro. I'm in work to make my money, to get that bag, to invest that bag. F you, woman. You want to come up here and try and, stray IP from his path. I'm here to get that bag, bro. Don't play with IP, man. Don't play with IP. So that's scenario one. Scenario two, you're going to have married women or women who have boyfriends that are throwing it at you. And for me, that's a big no. Don't try that IP because IP will shut that down. Right? You got women who have a ring on their finger, who have boyfriends complimenting you, want to buy you lunch or have lunch with you. No, I don't think so. Don't play with me. But some of you bros will actually sleep with a married woman. Some of you bros would actually sleep with a woman that has a boyfriend. That could not be me. So there's two issues there, right? Number one, that's immoral, right? Number two, if the husband finds out and the boyfriend finds out that you banged his girlfriend or wife, he might end your life, bro. He might hurt you, bro. He might get his boys, they're waiting for you outside of work or whatever, or some spot, beat you up real bad. In worst cases, delete you. There's a lot at risk here when you don't control your lust. That's the moral effing story. There's a lot at risk here. And some of you bros just don't get it. There's a lot at risk here. I ain't playing no flipping games, bro. Control those effing urges, bro. Control it. Harness it. Keep it contained, bro. Because I remember working a job, right? Dudes will be running through chicks at work. What are you doing, bro? She married, right? You a manager. I've worked in places where the manager is smashing the woman there at work. The manager. And obviously, she's suddenly head of department, or she got a promotion, right? Or she got a pay rise, massive pay rise. Couldn't it be me? Could not be me, bro. I got too much at risk here, bro. It ain't a flipping game for me, man. Control those effing urges. Don't let me crash out. Don't let IP crash out right now, bro. Because I don't seen dudes throw it away. I don't seen black men brothers throw it away, bro. Yeah, I seen white dudes smash chicks at work. I seen brothers do it too, but brothers, if you get caught, it's over for you. White dudes, nothing really happens in the average normal workspace. Don't play with me, man. Control those lusts, control those urges, bro. And if a chick is pressing for you at work, go to HR. I am not above going to HR. If a chick is keeps throwing tuner signals, keeps trying to get with me at work, I'm going to HR, or I'm letting her know, listen, don't play with me. Back the F down, bro. Back the F down, bro. How many of you dudes can do that, bro? Some of you dudes, you would actually indulge in sleeping with women in the workplace. Couldn't it be me, bro? Couldn't it be me? There's a lot of risk here for me and for you, brothers. My freedom at risk, man. My goddamn freedom at risk, bro. And if it goes wrong, if she thinks that you're now in a relationship and you're like, no, it's just fun, she might start accusing you of something. She might start spreading news about you of something. You know how these women are. When when they can't get the man of their dreams, and it's you, and you pushing back, they're angry now. Don't play with me, man. Control the lust. Because for me, right, I take my time knowing the chick. And if a chick can't, isn't on my wavelength in terms of getting to know each other slowly, asking the right questions, I drop her, bro. And some of you dudes can't do what I do. Some of you dudes will wanna, oh man, I'm scared to lose her. I'll make it quick. I don't listen, man. I ain't scared to lose no chick, bro. I am not scared to lose any chick. Because I have controlled my lust to a point where if I lose a woman, well, okay, cool, whatever. Life goes on. Some of you dudes, right? You want to rush through things to get the box. Then you find out she's the wrong woman. She's not the right one. Couldn't it be me, bro? I'm going to tell a chick, listen, I like you, we like each other, but guess what? We're going to take it slow for a bit. Because some dudes want to smash quickly on the second date, third date, whatever. That couldn't be me, bro. I'll keep it a stack. That couldn't be me. And guess what? I've been on dates abroad. And I've told chicks, okay, we ain't smashing anytime soon. And guess what? These same women, they looked at me crazy. And guess what? I dropped them. I dropped them completely. When I told chicks in Panama, bro, when I told women in Panama, some of y'all, you know Panama, you know the whole Latin American culture, right? I think someone said that, in Brazil, they kiss before having handshakes. They love kissing when they're having handshakes, right? And in Panama is in that sphere of Latin America influence. It's not South America, but it's Latin American country, right? So you come across Brazilian chicks, Cuban chicks, Argentinian chicks, these kind of sensual chicks. So I'm going on dates, right? And I tell women very clearly, right? We ain't smashing later on tonight. We ain't smashing 2 hours later. And guess what? You are not coming back to my hotel room, and I am not going to your hotel room. And some of these chicks looked at me crazy, bro. Some of these Latina chicks looked at me crazy. How many of you brothers can do what I do, man? I'm able to say that to women because I have controlled my lust. I have told chicks in Panama, we ain't smashing today. We ain't smashing on the next date or the next date. I'm going to take my time with you the same way I take my time playing FIFA on PS3. The same way I take my time, right, making a good, nice tomato sandwich with lettuce and some cheese inside it and some wholemeal bread. Let's get it cracking, bro. Right? And these Latinas looked at me crazy. And I dropped them. Some of you boys would have folded. Oh no, sorry. Come out to my place. Some of you boys would have folded. Same in Japan too. IP ain't going to no love hotel. What the hell do you mean? I've been on dates where women have said they've initiated love hotel. I've been in the clubs where women have said IP love hotel. Love hotel. Hell nah. And these were bad Latinas. And you know how I'm not capping? Look at my previous interviews of Panama. The kind of woman that I interviewed in Panama, It's the kind of women that I was going on dates with. Not those women specifically, but that kind of look, that skin tone, the facial features. Because I was color pushing heavy in Panama, and I was going on dates, right? I was going on dates, and those type of chicks that you see in the interviews were similar to those women that I was going on dates with. So it was dime chicks, good-looking women, and some of you balls, right, would have flipping lost it. Oh, I'm abroad right now. I'm here for 2 weeks. I got a damn chick I'm on a date with right now. I might smash after one. I want to smash her on the first date, man. That couldn't be me, bro. That couldn't be me, because I have controlled my lust. I controlled it. It don't control me no more. It don't control me. I've contained that kind of, that sensation. Yeah, yeah. It's a different feeling where you're on a date and you got this badass Latina, right? Great body, right? Nice brown skin, long black hair. She look at you into her eyes, bro. Like you a goddamn ocean. Like she want to smash you right there on the table in front of everyone, right? They be on that time in Panama, right? She's eating her pasta, looking you in the eye, sensually. It's flipping. It's 9 p.m., bro. The night is dark. The music's playing. Your hotel room is 10 minutes away by Uber. A lot of you boys, a lot of you dudes, a lot of you men would have folded, bro. Okay, come into my place or I come to yours. IP never once folded abroad, bro. IP never once folded abroad, bro. Ibiza, Spain, I had me a European chick every day. I'm having breakfast. I'm having lunch. I'm having flipping, dinner. She next to me, bro, in her bikini, chest all out, right? Legs folded, looking at IP, staring at me, giving me all the attention, right? Dinner time is, it's 6 p.m. We're in the same hotel building, bro. Literally, her hotel room is probably like 20 seconds away by walking. IP never once said, okay, what are you doing tonight? She was waiting for that. She was waiting during those days of me in Ibiza, Spain. She was waiting for me to say IP. Not pause, not IP. She was waiting for IP to say, right, come back to my place. Woo! And then she got confused. You can tell her facial expressions were getting a bit confused. Why isn't IP saying come back to his place? Right? And there was times where I would walk away to another table to take a phone call, and she'd be so confused. Bro, control that lust, bro, because it'll make you a powerful man. It'll make you a powerful man. The 7 deadly sins, lust, has taken down a lot of women, a lot of men. You have to control it, man, or else you may lose everything. You may lose everything. Man, that upcoming Ibiza stream is gonna be flames, bro. I got a lot to say about Ibiza Spain. A lot of you boys will fold. A lot of you dudes would fold heavily in Ibiza Spain, man. When you're on the beach, when you're seeing Latinas in Ibiza Spain, when you're seeing Swedish chicks in Ibiza Spain, you're seeing a whole lot of crazy stuff out there. You would have folded. Not once did I fold. And I'm proud of myself, man. Literally, I've been on dates where women have thought that I'm crazy. Why isn't IP saying, take back to my place or back to your place? If that's the problem, I'm dropping that chick. And guess what? I have dropped good-looking chicks in the past. I've dropped them. I've dropped them. How many of you dudes can do what I do, man? Drop a woman like that who are good looking? I don't think you can, man. And if you can't, then you need to work on controlling your lust. You need to work on controlling your lust. So I'm going to open up the phone lines for you to call in and speak about and tell me, have you personally controlled your lust? Or are you working in controlling your lust? Or do you disagree, right, in controlling your lust? So let me know your thoughts. I'm going to open up the phone lines right now. Okay. Invite, copy. I'm going to post a link in here. Call in. And let me know, right, your relationship or connection with lust. Does it control you? Right? Do you have problems controlling your urges? We be men. Speak on it. Speak on it. Right? Now's the time to speak on it, bro. Because a lot's at stake right now in 2025. Freedom, wealth, health. And we can't let no chick tear us down because we can't control our urges. Man, I feel powerful, man. I feel powerful that I can turn down dime chicks. Brandon, can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you're not a troll? And you can actually turn your camera off quickly after. Thank you, Brandon. You confirmed. Thank you, bro. You're not a troll. Let me bring in Brand in the background. If it's who you are, UK brother. But I've been waiting for you to DM me on IG, bro. If you were the Brazil brother. Let me see if I can hold on, bro. Let me just fix my okay, let me bring in Brand in the background. I think it's the UK brother. Hope it is. What's going on, bro? You good?
Oh yeah, I'm good, man. How's it going?
Yeah, it is you. Yeah, brother. I'm waiting for you to DM me on IG, bro.
Oh yeah. I just been busy. No problem. I'll definitely do that. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. Brother, thank you for calling again, brother. Much appreciated. How do you want to chime in? Or what do you want to say about the stream or give your own experience, brother? By the way, bro.
Yeah, this stream actually is quite important because it kind of reminds me of a situation I've got going on at work. So, a long story short, I started a new role. I think I mentioned before I work in IT, so I was able to get a new role, a better salary, etc. Where I work, it's like I'm not going to say exactly where I work, but all I'm going to say is a lot of men get their shirts from there. So you might know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
yeah, where I work, there's actually a girl that works there. She's French. She's actually a good looking girl. I don't know, like she's giving me choosing signals, a little bit here and there. And to be fair, because I've mentioned before, as a black guy, obviously dating is harder. So when a woman looks at me, I don't really take that as a choosing signal. But we've been talking a bit, and it seems like maybe she's open to something more than friends or something like that. But at the same time, I'm slightly getting mixed signals. But what I realize is that it's a dangerous territory because as a black man, you can't afford to lose your job and stuff like that. I've decided to not really try to act on it, and I'm just going with the flow and doing my own thing. I just urge other black men to not buy into lust, especially in the workplace, because it's not worth it, and you can get yourself in trouble. You can get yourself in trouble with girls as well, because women come and go. The black guy, you're looked down upon as well. It's not going to be easy for you to get girls unless you go outside to Europe, and yeah.
Is she white French?
Yeah, she's actually, yeah, she's a proper French girl. She doesn't look like Aryan, if that makes sense, but she's a proper white French girl. Yeah.
Yeah, brother, you need to avoid that. I tell you two reasons why, Brand. If you work with other white men and they're saying that
Yeah.
she's giving you a lot of love, you're dating, they get jealous, bro. I've seen it, brother. They get jealous, especially if she's a good-looking white woman, brother, which I'm assuming she is.
Yeah.
They get jealous, but man, they'll start plotting, brother, or treating you differently, brother. I've seen it, bro. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I definitely agree with that
You know,
because white guys, they do get jealous. I've been in situations in my last role. There was a white girl that liked me. She was blonde, had blue eyes. She was average, but I remember she was talking to me because I kind of rejected her a little bit, and there was a guy that tried to break us up. Tried to say something, and things like that. Like tried to butt into the conversation with some weird white guy, and then he walked away. So there is jealousy. There is jealousy.
and brother, also like when other women see that as well, that she's dealing with you or you're dealing with her, and this woman that doesn't like you because you're black on a personal level, or she may like you but you haven't chosen her. Also, problems there, bro. You know.
Yeah, like I and this goes back to just to elaborate on what you said, because in my last role, I'm not going to mention this person's name, but this can kind of segue into other streams you've made. This Asian guy that I know of, I actually went. He was doing stuff with girls, and he was not even a good-looking guy, and he was getting away with it pretty much. But he almost got in trouble, but they let him slide. He got another fellow Asian guy snitched on him, and this just goes to show. Like I was talking to my friend about it, and he said, "Oh, if you did that, you wouldn't be able to do it because you're black," and I agree. So just because you see an Asian guy or white guy doing that at work, it doesn't mean you as a black guy are going to be able to get away with doing that. It's not going to happen.
Facts, absolute facts, bro. Absolute facts. And just to add here, right? Um, it's very important. So in my experience, in terms of like jealousy, I remember at a couple of jobs several years ago, right? There was this like white chick, slim, thick white chick. I give her 8 minimum, blonde. She was in the gym girl, and she would always talk to me, right? And I could just see the white guy's eyes on us, and the look was like a look of like anger, disgust, or jealousy. And I'm like, yo, this is serious here, man. Like, and I had to like try and like lessen our conversations there, because obviously if you're in a majority white company, even though it's like your DEI, anti-racism, we all know that they speak amongst themselves and they have that their own talks about other groups of people, and you don't know if they're plotting. Mine was also white as well, so I was like, yo, I need to be very careful here, man, because these dudes are haters. So yeah, you're right, bro. Not just white people, but it could be any group of people, any other races, particularly if you're the only black guy there, and the woman that's like Asian or whatever is really feeling you. Be careful, man.
Yeah, like it's very dangerous. Like I feel like a lot of black guys don't understand that you're treading on thin ice. You're treading on thin ice, and you have to be very, very careful. Even like being a passport bro, I do think Germany is a good place to go, but you still have to be very, very careful, because not too long ago in Germany, you had the Nazis there. They labeled black people as subhuman. And I mean, I think, tones have settled down. There's a lot of German girls that do find black guys attractive, and stuff like that. But you still have to be very, very careful. There's a lot of passport bros going to certain places in Europe where there's no black people there, and it's a very quiet town, but you don't know what is there. You can't just go to certain places and walk around without the network being there. And this is what happens, is why guys who go to these countries and do well with girls, they get out of control and they end up getting robbed. For example, in Colombia or Mexico, Brazil, guys are getting too confident, so they're like, what, let's go to a favela. Or you didn't need to go to a favela. You could have just gone down the road, down the street where there's tourists, but instead you think you know everything. You go to a favela, and now you're getting robbed, probably killed, probably tortured or whatever. And this is what happens when you don't control your lust. You have to control it.
Facts, bro. Absolute facts. But obviously, better keep it coded. The NAZI. Just make sure you're
Oh
coding the
yeah.
words. And KILD deleted. So in Brazil for you, right, did you have a problem with lust? But actually, no, let me ask you a question, Brand, right? Have you personally had a problem with lust in your life in the UK, brother, with English chicks? So start from there.
Yeah, I personally have had problems, where, I grew up and I watched a lot of certain content and, I just wasn't able to, I wasn't able to control it, especially having periods of loneliness. There'll be times in my younger years where, I'll get into a relationship with a girl that doesn't really like me and is just trying to use me and is, just using me as a stepping stone. But that's because I couldn't really lock a girl down and didn't have the options to be a mobile, which is basically a player. So what a lot of guys do and what I did is you'll find a girl and just get into a relationship with her. But that's not the right thing. That's not how you control your lust, because sooner or later she's going to get rid of you and it's not going to be sustainable. And now you're back in full lust mode. That is a good way to control your lust. If you find a woman and you're steady with her and she's loyal to you, etc. But most of the time and these days, especially as a black guy, that's not going to happen. Especially in the West, that's not going to happen. You're probably in a situation where you can't move to a European country or an Asian country, if that's your preference, or South America, to meet a woman, a traditional woman, that grew up in a small village where there's, maybe it's not as multicultural, but it's not racist, and you stand out and she, has a fetish for you, and maybe it could work out, but you don't have the means to do that because you're not a remote worker. You probably don't work in IT, or, you don't have anything which can allow you to move to another country. And I think the fact that England is not in the EU anymore has made it very hard to move to European countries. It's not as easy. So because of that, and we already know girls in the UK, unless they're foreign, and even still, you've got a slim chance. There's no way in hell you're going to control your lust. So it's a lose-lose situation.
But how did you end up controlling your lust, Brand? What did you do? Did you do therapy? Let me know, bro.
You know what it is? I think it's just about getting to the routine, because I work in IT and my day goes by very quickly. My job is not very stressful, so it's a bit relaxed. So the day goes by very quickly. And like, for example, right now I'm trying to self-improve. I'm trying to looks max. But I have financial goals and physical goals. So I'm on a keto diet at the moment. I'm getting back in shape. I've lost like 8 kilograms in 6 weeks. I keep myself occupied. I was watching some war documentaries. I watch some films. I keep myself busy and work on projects. The reason why I think I'm able to control my lust now is because I know if I do all of this work, and this isn't necessarily true, I've brainwashed myself and done hypnosis on myself to make myself believe if I self-improve, if I get in shape and build a bit more muscle and, get more IT certifications, get a better job, get a car, I'm going to be able to attract a woman, like a good woman. And that might be next year, or if I take a year out or something. So every day I'm gaining an extra 1%. And even if it's not true, that's what my brain believes. So the key is to have a goal. And the reality is, as a black guy, your goal is unfortunately going to be girls. Now, everything has to come full circle. You need to self-improve. You need to go to the gym and you need to build your career. I think gaining more money, having a relaxed lifestyle where you're working on yourself is going to make you not think about girls, because if you keep improving yourself, right, even though we live in the West and you're most likely not going to meet a girl here, you can brainwash yourself into believing when you do all of this work, you will meet a woman. You will get matches on dating apps. And this, for me, I think is the key for a black man. You have to use your lust as motivation. So the lust needs to be pushed to the side and you need to figure out how you can attain what your lust desires. And that will break away the lust from you, and that's what's worked for me.
Amazing, Brian. Appreciate you, brother. Stay on the line there, bro. Sure, can you turn your camera on in the background? So I know you're not a troll. You can turn it off after in the background. Just want to see you're not a troll. Shot SHOT. Just turn your camera on in the background and then turn it off. Let me bring a shot in the thank you, Shot. Let me bring a shot in the background over here. Okay. So what's going on, Shy? How you doing, bro?
Yo, good evening. Good evening. You can hear me okay?
Loud and clear, brother. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm fine. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm not
Fire away, bro. Fire away,
so,
brother.
All right. There's a lot. I think the main thing, if you're going to travel, you have a good lifestyle or whatever, right? I've been doing this a long time, a little bit older, already had a career, successful, got the money, everything. You should first focus on getting a skill set with a type of social environment you'll find around the world. Okay. So in particular, Irish pubs, right? For the record, I'm born and raised in New York City, lived in Cali, Miami, and been abroad for various jobs, right? You'll find Irish style pubs everywhere on planet Earth. Okay, everywhere. They're in Thailand, they're in the UK, obviously, they're in Australia, they're in Japan. You can go anywhere on planet Earth, and the rules of social engagement in an Irish pub are the same everywhere. So if you get good at it, you can go to a different city and basically learn how to slide in and then work it like that. And then it becomes less of an ad hoc thing where you're trying to always find the perfect spot. You can just travel, and then where your networks will tell you what cities and places to go to, as opposed to kind of trying to scan the environment and then pick the right place to travel to, right? Your networks will open those doors for you, I believe. So that's one major thing.
Yeah. What about in terms of lust, though? Controlling your lust.
Lust. That's part of it, because you learn how to engage, right? You can't suppress your emotions. They just come out in other forms. All you're going to do is transmute them into usually less productive manifestations, right? You suppress it deep inside and you become more of a pervert in solitude, as opposed to being that way when you're out. When you get the rules of an environment like that, then you can exercise it in a more healthy manner, because you'll know where the limits are, right? You'll meet people that might be on your wavelength. You'll know what the boundaries are with making jokes and how you interact with people. You feel what I'm saying? Like I don't agree with the methodology being presented as a way of controlling it. I don't think that works.
So you're saying that it's an innate biological need to obviously want to have sex with a woman, right? And controlling that, you're doing yourself a disservice. You have to like tolerate it or have some sort of tolerance. Is that what you're saying there?
Trying to suppress it. Yeah, trying to suppress it is not gonna. It's just gonna leak out in other ways. I guess my background and one of my careers that was big on that is that you fool yourself into thinking you're operating without emotion. They'll say, "Oh, yeah, suppress your emotions before you do X, Y, and Z." It's physically impossible task. All you're doing is just pretending the bias that emotion gives you isn't there, and you end up making more mistakes as opposed to having a healthy outlet for it. You know what I mean?
No, it makes sense. Thank you, bro. So stay on the line there, Shot. Jam, can you turn your camera on in the background, brother? So I know you're not a troll, real quick. Yeah, you confirmed. Thank you, Jam. Appreciate you, bro. Let me bring in, turn your camera off. Let me bring in Jam in the background. But before I do so, shout out to Mr. East Coast Care for the support. From Bill Cosby to Shannon Sharpe, now our brother, Smokey Robinson. What will it take for you brothers to get your passports? I definitely agree. They're coming after our legends, man. Makes me mad. Let me bring in Jam in the background. Go on, bro.
Shannon had a passport. The passports aren't going to prevent that. I got friends all over the world getting taken in by women internationally. That's not going to do anything.
Okay. Let me bring in Jam in the background. How you doing, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm great, man. Yourself?
I'm all right, brother. Hope everything's good.
Yeah, it's going to be my last month here in Brazil, so I'm just, enjoying it for while I can, because I don't plan on coming back until near the end of the new year. But yeah, I do like extreme. I will say, in terms of like all the brothers being taken down, I do think, and I'm sure you'll probably agree with me when I say this, that in order to get to that type of level, they got to have some dirt on you. Like that's what I believe, right? In order to control you, because if you're completely clean, then you're uncontrollable, and they don't want to promote you. So they need to have some dirt. I think all of them have some dirt. Like when Diddy went down, it was like he was just the black sheep that needs to go down and make sure that this ship stays afloat. So I think they all have dirt on them, and it's just right if you don't toe the line, or this thing can happen to you. I don't really like look at celebrity life like how we should be living our lives, because they just operate on different rules, and we're just not. That's just a completely foreign life to us. But in terms of controlling lust in general, I think as a young man, it's almost impossible at this point, to be honest with you. Like, I do agree with the one caller, the original caller. I don't know his name, but the one with who doesn't have the profile picture either. That as you do it, it becomes easier. So it is a form of discipline. But you have to understand that literally it's kind of like being detoxed from your phone and social media. Like everything is getting you to become, to have TikTok brain and to be focused on that. And so you have to be even more diligent and more persistent in order to avoid these triggers. And it's just most people are not going to, unless you're very, very disciplined in this aspect, most people are just not going to avoid most of these pitfalls. So, and it's even worse now than it was when I was a kid. It used to be back, I think you're older than me, it used to be back in the day where if you wanted to let's say if you just wanted to take care of yourself, if you know what I mean, you had to go through quite a bit of hassle in order to do it. Now, if you just want to browse social media, you're going to see that front page. You don't even want to see it. It's just bombarded with you. So the whole lust thing, I agree with you. It's a discipline thing, but it's like we have forces that are literally going against us at every turn.
Facts. I agree, Jam. Yeah, it's purposely pushed like to show it everywhere in movies, music, and all that stuff by the powers that be, and we know who controls that kind of medium. We'll leave it as there. Don't want to speak about it too much. But let me ask you, Jam. Right? You in Brazil, right? Have you controlled your lust, or have you given into it? If so, how do you control your lust, brother? If you have controlled it, I have interest.
Oh yeah, when I first came around, I wasn't really enjoying it. And then during Carnival, I wasn't really practicing discipline either. But no, for the most part, I have, because it's just my new home. You know what I mean? Like I feel like when people travel, right, they look at it as like, oh, this is my vacation. They go crazy. But then when you're actually living in the area, then it just becomes routine, and you're not, you got to get stuff done, obviously. So it wasn't that. It kind of just died naturally. It wasn't even like I was constantly doing things. Just like, I'm not gonna drink every day and party every day and go after women every day. Like that's just not a fulfilling life.
I like it.
I mean, it was fun for like 2-3 months. Don't get me wrong. I did it for quite a while, but I mean, like Brazilians really like to drink, and I mean, drinking in my body, that does not agree with me. So
I go out often, but I just don't drink. What's up?
No, I was gonna say, you gotta show me your ways. It's difficult now, especially in Brazil. I used to have ways of like me pretending that I was drinking more than I was, because if you don't drink,
why pretend?
Well, because people, this is what I've noticed, right? And you can tell me, right, if you guys experience this as well, because I do. I'm a big people watcher. But people, when they know you're not drinking, they treat you differently. It's kind of like when I gave up, like for example, like when people, if they were to like use, like if they were to partake in the Wiz Khalifa, if you know what I'm saying, and then they give that up, right? They don't invite you to the circles anymore because you're not partaking in the Wiz Khalifa. It's like, what's the point? So if you're there and you're not drinking, people are going to treat you differently. Even if you're there, they're just not going to open up and be as friendly with you as if they're thinking you're drinking. It's just one of those things where you have to partake or you're going to be excluded.
Yeah, I've experienced that as well, actually. I don't know, are you talking mainly about the American culture?
Yeah, but I would say it's even more of a thing here in Brazil, because they drink every day here in Brazil. You can literally drink every day.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm from England, so I'm obviously a Black European, but you must know that in England or in Europe, drinking obviously due to the ancestors of Europeans, Vikings, etc., drinking is rampant. And I have noticed, for me, I don't drink. I mean, I can count on 2 fingers the times I've drunk. And when I tell people I don't drink, they instantly pull back from me. They instantly pull back. They're not interested in engaging me or being my friend, and they don't invite me to social events. Also, I've noticed with women, also they find that they're not as interested anymore. So it is a repellent, to be honest.
So you got to find the social scenes that drinking is not a major anchor for, like sports. How's your tennis game? You played tennis recently? You got to play tennis, bro.
I don't really play tennis, to be honest.
You got to get into tennis, bro. You need it. Everybody should get into tennis.
Yeah, I do running and weightlifting, so like that's kind of my avenue. But I think we're kind of going a little bit off topic of the whole less thing, all right? But I do want to. I do say this though. I do say this, and I'm going to be serious about this. Like, it is true. You are going to be treated differently if you don't partake in these things. Like, it's just the absolute truth. I mean, if you want to be in those scenes, like, okay, now if you don't want to be in those scenes, you want to do, you want to do the tennis club, all right, that's fine. But some people want to enjoy the nightlife, and if you want to enjoy the nightlife as a completely green, right, sober dude, you're going to be treated differently. It's just a fact. You know what I mean?
Hang out with your tennis buddies. That's how you connect up the scenes, right? You meet people via tennis, and tennis is a great way to get your lust going and exercise and socialize because the women are dressed hot. And then they'll invite you out. Hey, everybody's going out to such and such. There's always a few people in those kind of groups that don't drink much. Either the driver or somebody has a weird stomach. There's always somebody who doesn't drink. That's not good.
I got to confirm that because there's tennis courts in Miami, and even though I don't play tennis, I had a lot of friends that invited me out to play tennis, and you're absolutely right about that. So I'm more so saying that if you want to be in those scenes, like with strangers, like not people, like if you go in a group, obviously you have a group. I'm saying if you just want to go out, go to a bar or club, maybe with just a buddy or two, you know what I mean? And you're talking to some girl that you're not privy to, and she notices you're not drinking, but she's drinking. It can even be in a situation where it could be like an sexual assault type of situation. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're with a girl and she's drinking and you're not, right? Like that's just, I mean, it's already a problem if you're both drinking. So,
but I mean, I guess I don't think of things that way because I think I have so many other outlets that it just never occurs to me, right? And I can go to any, like say I lived in Miami 4 years, been down to Brazil, Floripa, so on. When you meet the jocks and the people who are into the fitness lifestyle anywhere on the planet, they all tend to be a bit similar, right? Gyms in Brazil are similar to gyms in Korea or similar to gyms in the US. You get similar kind of people. They usually have, they're fans of the same type of people. Like say if they're like figure models and they're going for their pro card, right? Their IFBB pro cards. They all kind of know the same people, the same celebrity trainers they're following, whoever the sensation was for the previous season, and you'll have things to talk about. Same with tennis. You follow tennis even a little bit, there's always some gossip and drama going on, chit chat. That's where the skill is, man. You have to have other hooks.
I mean, I agree with you. I just think that I think you're speaking to an older audience when you're saying stuff like that. Because like when you're young, right? Like I think you're able to say that because you've already been there, done that. You know what I mean? Like part of the reason why I don't have interest in doing some of the things I've done or like being like lustful towards these things is because I've already engaged in it, and I saw that it wasn't fruitful in the long run. Like it was great at the time, but it would put me back more than it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? But if I never had that experience, then I would probably just be like earning for that experience. So like I feel like you're speaking from someone who's already seen that scene, seen the pitfalls, like why you don't like it, and then you switched over. But we're talking about some people they've never even experienced this. Is how you can tell someone
the way around. So I'm looking at it from my life. I did it. I said maybe I should stop. I stopped for a while, and I said, why did I stop? And went back to it. I was like, nah, this was not for me. I'm just a natural party dude.
So I want to ask Brandon a question, right? Brandon, you said you're on your looks maxing journey. I'd like to know more about that because I've actually been like changing some things in my life recently, and I began some looks and some attention, blah blah blah. But I'd love to hear about your looks maxing journey, brother. Brand, do you hear me?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Oh, sorry. So basically, I asked you, tell me about your looks maxing journey. You know,
Oh, yeah.
what you've been doing? Have you got results from it? Break it down for me, bro.
Yeah, so when it comes to my looks maxing journey, I have actually gotten results from it. The reason why is because obviously the situation with the girl at work, she was looking at me, and the reason why is because I'm currently on a keto diet, so I'm getting back in shape. I've lost 8 kilograms, and I've been consistent with it. Keeping my carbs under 50 grams, and it's been working. It's been working very, very well. I've been taking a lot more care of myself, and it's 1% every day. And the reason why I know this has worked because I've conducted experiments on dating apps before, and I've gotten results. And taking this time away. It's not just about the looks. I've kind of done a lot more research, and I understand how to navigate a lot more better, a lot more effectively in the UK. I'm currently, quite excited because in the UK there is an audience of women who are foreign, who are interested in black guys. Actually, it's kind of my theory called reverse passport bro, where it's actually called homeland bros, where it is basically the opposite of passport bros, where if you are in your own country, you can actually find passport bro girls in your own country. In London, London actually qualifies for it, and England actually qualifies for it. And it's something I think which will blow up in the future. I think you might realize it and start talking about it. It's just a discovery I found. So I think if you do looks max, and my looks maxing journey has been well. I've upgraded my fashion. I can get discounts now, and I'm just focusing more on working out, more on the biological attraction, because I accept that I'm not going to be rich anytime soon. I do have a plan for that, but for the time being, I'm not going to be rich, and I'm just focusing on what works and what my niche is as a black guy, and it has been paying off, to be fair.
Great to hear, Brand. Ben, I want to ask you. So you mentioned how dating apps for you have been different. So have you taken new pictures? Has it been professional pictures of you having lost weight and you've got results on the apps, or break it down for me, bro?
Well, actually, I haven't. I've actually taken a break from the apps. I haven't used apps, but what I meant is, in the past, I have had professional pictures, and these did work up until probably. They worked until 2024, probably April 2024, and then after that, it didn't work anymore. I don't know why, but in those pictures, my haircut was nappy. I mean, it wasn't great, but the quality of the pictures, because I had a Swedish. Actually, no, I didn't have a Swedish guy. I had some French guy take the picture. And it was lackluster, and I still actually got decent results in terms of the matches. Now, obviously, girls will be girls, and they ignore, but I did actually get some decent matches, and I do have a plan, and I have networked with a Swedish guy and an American guy, and I might actually be flying out to America after I've done the looks maxing to actually get professional pictures done. And I have seen other black guys that have had it done, and they've got amazing results from it. So this can work. The looks maxing can work. There are a few steps that need to be taken for it to work. There needs to be a systematic approach, but it can work. And I've conducted experiments, and these experiments have been successful.
Facts, bro. And so I've actually lost a lot of weight as well recently. And I've noticed that I began looks, and I feel like that big buff look, being really ripped, I don't think that's the wave for black men anymore. I think if you're going to be really ripped and big muscles and big thighs and all that stuff, right, you're going to attract a certain type of girl, but it's probably not what you want, right? But I've noticed that once I've slimmed down a lot, where I'm not skinny, but I'm lean, to the point where you can see in your face, brother, you can see your jawline showing as well, or something like that. then women now will be checking. I've noticed that. So the women nowadays are into that. They like that lean muscle look, but not too big muscle, but lean. Yeah, slim face. The face is the point. But if you have like a slim face, it's game over. I've noticed that, bro.
Yeah,
100%. And there's like hairstyles you can try. It is a bit of a mystery to find the right hairstyle. To be fair, I've tried like cutting it low and maybe getting a fade. I think I've come up with a theory that the mullet is good, and cutting your hair quite low and sharp, making the hairline sharp. This is going to sound a bit controversial, but I've actually had a white person. I've gone to a white barber's, and they actually cut my hair quite good. To be honest, the hairline looks a lot more sharper, because I used to go to this Caribbean shop and they were just a bit rude and just talking over the phone and just not very nice. It wasn't a good vibe. But when I went into this white barbers, I had a Portuguese guy cut my hair, and then an English guy cut my hair, and they were very nice, to be honest. And the English guy said he's cut Afro hair first before. And then obviously the Brazilian guy is obviously Brazilian. He's more of Caucasian Brazilian, but we know how Brazilians look. A lot of them are black. They have our type of hair. And he cut my hair quite well. And they took over an hour to do it. And they were very nice. It's a bit more expensive, but I think black guys, you need to invest in someone that can cut your hair right. Don't feel like you always have to go to a black barber's. There are white barbers that can cut black hair, and they can actually make your hairline look sharper, because I feel like when you go to a white barber's, there is a little bit of pressure on them because they are cutting black hair, which makes them perform better. And I have noticed that.
Amazing brand, fantastic. Do you want to say something, Shot?
Yeah, about a few things. Yeah, you should go to some salons and have your hair cut by a lady. That's always fun. I do that whenever I travel. And the home bro thing, that's old, man. That's ancient, especially like say from New York City. You always have international travelers that come in. Lived in Miami, same thing. When I lived in LA, San Diego, the same thing. If you hang out in airport bars, any place where there's a crossroads, that's really important. Leanness is the focus for sure. Get in shape and play a sport. If you look like you play a sport, that's really what I think does it better than any general fitness look. So if you play tennis, or I'll say I play basketball almost every day and look like a baller or a tennis player, it gives you a stance and a posture that you don't get unless you're really participating in athletics.
I just want to clarify one thing. Sorry, you said home bro. Yeah, so when I mention home bro, I'm talking more specifically in terms of you meeting a woman that is foreign, but she lives in your country. Obviously, this isn't going to apply to every girl, but there is a community of home bro girls. I have spoken to some Austrian. One of the last successful dates I went on was with an Austrian girl. She was like a banker, and she was very submissive, and she was Austrian, and she was highly interested. I mean, like women who live in your country, and they are foreign, and they are complete. How can I say that? They are not completely westernized to the point where they're used to dealing with black guys. Like they really want a black guy, and you can actually meet them and it could work out. That's what I mean. But I don't mean like girls that are flying.
They probably just like you, man. They probably just like you. You're probably just cool and charming, and they like you. You're gonna find those kind of enclaves in any international city. Like if it's a university destination, if they work, say in New York in finance, Miami has several. You see a lot of that in Miami and Florida. And, you can relocate in your country to take advantage of that if that's a scene you really like. They tend to go to certain kind of bars. They tend to bring their favorite sports with them and hang out in cliques around their activities.
And I just wanted to say, like, the reason why German girls like black guys is because if you look in the early nasty times, Jesse Owens performed in the Olympics and started basically an obsession between German women and black men because he became the fastest man in the world, and Adolf Hitler was embarrassed. So German women see black men as the apex in terms
I
of
don't know about that,
what they
man.
find attractive.
I wouldn't go around with those kind of theories too much, man. I've dated German girls as well. Probably one of my most serious girlfriend was a German Jew from Hamburg.
Okay.
How did you meet? So, Brian, how did you meet that Austrian chick, bro? Was that recent? And was she white? Was she white?
Yeah, so this Austrian chick, this was actually last year. This is when I actually I was trying to take a break, but I was interrupted. And I actually met her on Hinge. So yeah, she was quite attractive actually. She was Austrian. She spoke German. She was attractive. And from there, I realized that obviously you have German and you have Austrian. Austrian used to be occupied by Germany, so it's technically the same thing. Austrian girls, they have a thing for black guys. German girls have a thing for black guys, I think. And it's quite a good thing because if you like blonde white girls, Germany has a lot of that and they are quite attractive. They kind of remind me a bit of Swedish girls. The difference between German girls and Swedish girls, obviously, the German girl is a bit more traditional than a Swedish girl. So you have a very good chance meeting a German girl.
You still there, Brian?
Yeah, I'm still there.
I can hear him.
Yep, I'm still here. Did you get that?
Yeah, you sound fine to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you got that passport.
I think it's on my P's on because I heard you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Brian, so let me ask this, right? So, and Jam, feel free to chime in as well, Jam. And brothers, feel free to call in if you want to call in. So, brother, how much do you weigh now, brother? How much do you weigh?
Oh yeah, so I was basically 85 kilos, and now I'm 76.2 kg on my way to 70 at the moment, and I've basically been following a ketogenic diet, which is a carnivore diet, which puts me in ketosis, and my body is just burning fat for fuel, and I've been losing weight, and I've been maintaining the muscle pretty much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, you want to say something, Shot? Or
Yeah, I'm saying, what I really do is I fast a couple days a month. Like a couple of long duration fasts took my fitness to a whole nother level.
So basically for me, right? So I used to weigh 88 kilograms, and then I've dropped to I'm now 68 kilograms, and I'm super slim right now. Not slim, but I'm lean. I can see in my face, like my jawline is showing, and I think that's what's getting me the looks. Like women have been looking, and my dressing has gone better as well. So now so basically, I'm self-improving in the West. So when I go abroad, right, I'm going to be at my best, right? I think that should be everyone's goal. Yeah, you can get some women here in the West, right? But that's my goal, right? My end goal is to get it to my peak stage here in the West, lose weight, maintain my muscles and my leanness, upgrade my wardrobe, go abroad. And I know for a fact with my slim face right now, lean face, it's gonna be a wrap. So body fat is very important. And I think black men must understand that. Body fat is extremely important. Lose your body fat, bro. Would you agree, Bran?
100%. It's interesting you said 68 kg because that's my target weight. I'm presuming you're 5'11 and a half or 6 foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same weight. We probably have a similar bone structure, actually. Yeah, my target weight is 68 because I was always 68 kg. But I had a few things happen, working out, bulking, and then I ballooned up to 84 because I had knee surgery. So I'm on my way to getting down to 68, but I'll assess at 70 kg. And yeah, when you are slim, you have to understand when you lose weight, because a lot of people are too scared to lose weight. It doesn't matter if you lose muscle, you need to get all of the fat off. Muscle can come later. That can come later and you have a lot of time to use that. There's also supplements you can take that will help you build muscle. So get the fat off, get the body fat down, because that will get your waist slimmer. You'll be more agile. You'll be able to move around a lot more and you'll be able to think a lot better. You have less brain fog and your face will be slimmer. you know, and this is what women want. This is what women find attractive, because contrary to popular belief, a lot of black men these days are not very lean. They're destroying their genetics. You know, we know how good our genetics are, and they're throwing it to the wayside. So if you can do that, you really will stand out 100%.
So I got a little bit of a different opinion on this. I do agree with the leanness though. Like, for women, they just like men who are lean. I mean, look at Justin Bieber, Harry Styles, all of them. They're extremely lean men. So I do agree. For most people, losing weight is going to get you right in the eyes of women, like more attractive, more desirable. But I'm not gonna lie, I do think there's diminishing returns. Like for me personally, I'm 6'2". Right, I'm trying to do the math in kg because I know you guys don't use pounds, right? So like, what is one? I think one, like I'm typically I'm walking around 190, so that'll be like what 85, 86 kgs divided by 2.2. But I am right going through a slim cut, right? Because I'm going to be going to Japan, and I know that they typically like it when people are skinnier. So I'm by no means overweight, right? You know, I have my 6-pack showing. I'm in really good shape. I'm just a really big, bulky dude. You know what I mean? So I'm willing to slim a little bit, but I like the benefits of being big. Like I like the intimidation factor, and I'm telling you, like it's just a big difference. Like when you're a skinny dude, a skinny man versus a big man. Like I'm just telling you, like the intimidation factor with other men is it's huge. So it's like I will give away some points of like me not being the quote unquote idealist, right, in a girl's eyes in order to gain points of intimidation, like so that men don't mess with me. You know what I mean? Because there's still going to be girls who I find attractive that like the way I look, even though I am bigger.
The guys that really would mess with you aren't going to care that you're a little bit bigger or not. I've been in Japan 10 times. Love it, by the way.
It's gonna be my first time, so yeah, I'm excited. I'm stoked for it. But I'm not talking about that. It's not about. It's like micro things, bro. It's not even about like in confrontation. It's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like you automatically kind of like change the way you act in anticipation of a confrontation. Like you don't even want to get to that point. You'll automatically just change the way you behave. I'm telling you, it's a thing because I've been all this way.
I mean,
bro.
I'm a big dude. Like I'm 6'3", 225, right? So a little bit more than like 101 kilograms. Been in a lot of situations. I don't know. I wouldn't worry about it too much. To be honest.
Presence, right? I think it's presence. So they know you're big. They won't mess with you.
I mean, I'm
telling you, it's a 90 difference, bro. And these conversations we're having here. I've had conversations with my acquaintance for years about this. Like we'll talk about, like I call it the Bieber look. Like I think it's a way for me to make fun of him, right? Which is essentially just getting as lean as possible, and you know. Even if you don't have that much muscle mass, it's really just more about the leanness so that way your facial bone structures can show and you can look more attractive, right? And then there's like the traditional bodybuilder style. Like I'm not gonna say Arnold because that's like super extreme, but you know what I'm talking about. The person goes to the gym and they're focused on size and mass, right? So we talk about this all the time. I do agree that Justin Bieber style is gonna be it's going to attract the most women, but there's going to be a lot of women who are also attracted to the buff style as well. And then you also get the respect of men just because you're a big man. And I'm telling you from someone who's skinny, because I used to run cross country. So, you know, we're talking about like 6 feet, 135 pounds. I don't know what that is in kilograms. It's like 65 kilograms, right? At 6'2", right? So I was very skinny at one point versus like being almost double the size now. The way men treat you is just, and I'm a nice dude. I'm not intimidating at all. But the way men treat you when you're just a naturally bigger man, it's in my opinion, it's nice.
I agree there, Jem. I also feel like, you know, you mentioned how confrontation. I was thinking about the other day as well, but I feel like you have to avoid starting fights in the first place. And number two, avoid environments where fights will start. So clubs. I don't really go to clubs like that. I mean, in clubs is an ego fest in clubs. You know, guys trying to set up other dudes to show off with girls. I tend to avoid these kind of environments, these shady places, clubs, environments, and you normally want to get into a fight with anyone at all if you avoid certain spots and, you know, certain areas and certain environments. You know, number two, you can be right 68 kg and still be big because your muscles will show more. So now I've got a lot of veins in my arms, right now because I'm low body fat, and I'm planning to go to the gym more, do more exercises, do more muscle exercises to build muscle. So that's more protein shakes. Brand, do you use creatine? I might start using that as well. Brand, creatine, if you use that.
So at the moment, I'm not using creatine, but once I get down to your weight, that is something I'm going to use. There is another product which, so once I get down to your weight, I will be using creatine 100%. But for now, I'm actually not using anything, but because my glycogen storages are low anyway, because that's what the diet does. But creatine makes a huge difference. It absolutely does.
I've heard. I don't use it, but I've heard that I need to be adding creatine to my workout routine and my protein shakes, and I think that might, even though I'll be 68 kg, I can have more muscle mass and more muscle definitions. And yeah, go on, Shot.
I mean, now, do you know what creatine does and how you use it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, are you aware how to use it and what the purpose is?
Not much, bro. If you can explain, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, it helps with the ADP to ATP cycle. So basically, it lets you get out a few more reps per set, or maybe eke out another set or two. So if your training is geared toward volume, adding creatine will probably let you. Let's say if you normally can do 3 sets of 10, creatine might let you do 3 sets of 11 or 12 and basically get a better stimulus. But say depending upon the type of workout you're doing, it could be detrimental. Like say if you're doing something like Mensker or HIT and you're going one work set to failure, it may work against you. So keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I personally have never used creatine in my 10 years of lifting. I've never done it. I understand like he's absolutely right. That's actually what it does. So, like increase the AT process, and it also helps you retain more water in your muscles, so you look fuller. In some cases, you look bloated. It really depends on genetics. But the reason why I won't touch it is because there's a risk that, and apparently it's only for people who were predisposed with genetically, but I'm just not want to take that risk. That it can make you bald faster, or it can make you if you're going to bald, you're always meant to bald, but apparently it can make you bald faster. And yeah, I think having hair, is more important than me having slightly bigger muscles. I think women care about the hair more, so I'm just not willing to take that risk.
Okay. No,
yeah, I mean, for me,
go on, bro.
No, I was saying I think the main thing a lot of guys have problems with is they have conflicting goals. Like if you're trying to put on muscle mass, like, sarcoplasmic or myofibrillar mass, it's probably best to just focus on the best methods for that and don't worry about anything else. And then come back to, go in phases. And then if you're going to go lean, I would recommend fasting hardcore, right?
Yeah, actually, I completely agree with that. Like completely. In fact, all this stuff that's happening now, like it's crazy to me because when I started lifting 10 years ago, like the preconceived notion, right? The way things were was that you just did what works, and then you wouldn't switch it up unless you stop making progress. Like that's the way it would work. So it's like, if you're in the gym right now, you're making gains, losing weight. If everything's going well, don't change it. You know what I mean? Just keep going until you hit a plateau, and then that's when you're supposed to switch it up. That's typically that was the old time notion. I don't know what it is now. Now it's like everyone just tries everything. They just, my friend told me to do this and it worked. I don't know. I've never touched this stuff. So, and then also the fasting thing as well, by the way. That I concur with that. I fasted. I've done a 30-day fast. I've done intermittent fasting. I think that is, in fact, I actually even have a picture of me documenting just to show how quickly you can get shredded fast. And I have a picture of me documenting my body for like 30 or 40 days, right? Just doing intermittent fasting. Now, I was running an hour a day and I was lifting every day, but literally you could see, actually, I might send it to you after this. You can literally see how quickly you can change your body, right? With adopting these habits. So that's actually the reason why I want to get back into what the guy was saying before about the whole looks maxing thing. I'm like, what do you mean by looks maxing? Do you just mean like getting in shape? Like, or are you going further? Because I'm familiar with these terms, so I'm not sure if you're just talking about getting in shape and improving your style. Because if that's the case, then yeah, of course. I mean, you can't expect to be an out of shape man, right? In 2025 and attract a woman unless you have like money or status. Like, you can't expect to do that. You can't expect to be someone who's out of shape, no money, no status, and expect to attract a woman. It's just not going to happen. So, but when you say looks, Maxine, is that all you're referring to? Is just like just getting leaner, and then maybe I guess like to improve your fashion sense because you can wear clothes you couldn't wear before? Or is it more to it?
He dipped out.
There's more to it.
I didn't realize. Okay.
I can tell you right now, having money and not being in the best physical condition is the worst of both worlds. Don't do it. Don't ever do it. Get lean before you get rich. I did the opposite. That was a horrible phase in my life.
Doc, can you turn your camera on in the background so I know you know troll? Thank you, bro. You confirmed, Brand. You confirmed as well. Let me bring in Doc and Brand in the background. So when we talk about looks, Maxim, right? We're talking about self-improvement in all areas of our lives. So fashion, skin, body, knowing what works for you as well. So as a dark-skinned brother, I've heard that I should be wearing like, silver chains to make my skin glow, or like something like bright colors. I'm not sure if you've heard that yourself, like wear like, light green shirts or white shirts to make my dark skin glow, wear some sort of silver chain as well to make my skin pop out. And I think it does work, If you're a dark skinned black dude, why are you wearing all black?
Use the color wheel, man. Just use the color wheel. Get a picture.
I'm a definitely second on that. Like, definitely go with colors that fit with your skin type. I mean, like, it's that going the color wheel is an excellent way of going about it. But I think that we don't want to get too focused up in style. I think a lot of it is your mentality. Like, I've never been, my body just never been like very muscular. My father was a Marine, and he's 6'4". He was muscular, but he was very slender built, and he had no problem getting chicks. I never really had any chicks giving me issues with not getting played. I would say the issue is like you have to be willing to turn them down and say no directly. And I've had multiple occasions where a woman propositioned me, whether it was at work or off of work, and I just threw it off. And you just got to tell them in their face. And the thing about it is that a lot of guys who don't have that, like you were saying, IP, is just like they'll go somewhere else and they'll be tempted to do something because they just have the feeling, the urge. I think the way you combat that is you actually get involved in an activity where you're with other people in a social setting. I mean, I do singing, I would do dancing, and I was in organizations doing that. I mean, if I was in school, in college, I was, in a math club or a computer science club doing programming or something. It's like you'll get around with other people in social settings with the people that you want to be with. And whether you can choose whether you want to entertain that with a woman or not. But I think a lot of times it's your mood that can ruin anything. Doesn't matter how good you look. If you're just an irritable guy, it doesn't matter where you are. People are not going to like you. Even the guys ain't going to want to be around. They're going to clown you anyway. So,
people be saying that. I'm going to be honest with you. People be saying that, but like my own life experience has told me that was straight cap. I'm just being honest with you. Like, my life completely changed the second I got in shape. Like, the second I got ripped. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my life completely, and I was a worse person. I was much nicer when I wasn't in shape. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. And I have a whole theory on this whole thing. I mean, I get it, but like what you're saying sounds more like, and it might be right for you. Like your own experience might confirm this, but I don't think this experience is shared with like 90+% of people because now more so than ever, looks matter. Like, and it's because, and I have a whole theory about this, is because, women don't rely on men directly anymore. They rely to the state, so they can just get your money without having to convince you for it. Like before, when women relied on men directly, they had to be somewhat cooperative because otherwise you leave. But now, you don't have the option to leave because they steal the money through the state. So, women don't have any incentive to be cooperative in that sense. So, unless you're going to really elevate her lifestyle, right, or you have the looks, right, she's not going to really go for that. So that's the reason why looks matter so much more now.
I haven't had an issue with looks. I mean, I think, working out and all of that, but you got to work your mind out too.
No, but okay, that's my whole point is that you're saying you haven't had an issue with looks. Well, that's okay. That's great. But 80+% of people do. So I guess for you, you've already, that was never a hurdle for you. But like most people are having issues with looks or getting attention from women.
There's a ceiling, right? There's a ceiling because you can punch through the ceiling and then you'll be in a group where everybody looks good and then other things come out. If you haven't gotten to that level.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. That's true. That's true. And that's the worst. It's like when you see everyone. That's how you know. That's how you know. Like that's how you know everyone's starting to realize like what works. Because like you see the whole like it's like when the red pill first became like a thing like back in like the early like I found it very early, right? And then the red pill became mainstream. Then the black pill started coming up. Right, like in 2015, and now it's mainstream. You see all this look stuff, and it's because the men are starting to realize that's what matters, right? If a girl likes the way you look, you can get away with almost anything. And I know this, like I know, like when a girl likes me, bro, I can get away with almost anything. And I'm, a younger me has done things I'm not proud to admit. I don't take that lightly anymore. But that is the absolute truth. Like this whole like, oh, you're good character. Like, nah, bro. I know a lot of people with a lot of good character, but they're 5'2", and so they get no attention. Like it's just the absolute truth.
It was
a story about this that corroborates what you just said. Because I have a friend. He doesn't live in the UK anymore, but I went to school with him. He's a British guy, black guy of Nigerian ancestry, and he's always had problems attracting women. He got bullied at school. And then one day he decided to work out. And then he actually took steroids. He became a bodybuilder. And then he became a personal trainer. And the women that he's able to attract now have the golden ratio, and they're at the bare minimum at 8 out of 10. And he even said to me, the minute that he got big, he was able to attract women effortlessly without saying anything, without doing anything. So what you're saying is true.
Yeah,
that's literally my experience. That is literally my experience. Like that is literally my experience. Like I'm 100%.
So when I went to college, that was well known. Like it's funny because I was in the early PUA community, and it actually was more black pill than what became later. And then it went away from that when the marketers got into it. But like fraternities have always known this, have always used steroids going back to the 90s.
Is he light skin or dark skin, Bran, your friend?
Sorry?
Is he light skin or dark skinned? Oh,
so he's the personification of what people think Nigerians look like. He was dark skinned. I don't think he was bad looking. I don't think there was anything wrong with him. I don't judge a man's looks, but I did not think there was anything wrong with how he looks. But he was a bit, how can I say, he was just insecure for whatever reason. He was actually shorter than me, but he did take steroids, and I spoke to him about it. And he said, you can take it because he had a coach, and he's doing this thing where he's cruising on testosterone, cruising on it, where he's taking injections every week to maintain his levels, and he seems perfectly fine. His physique is absolutely incredible. The woman that he's with is very attractive.
A lot of dudes take steroids. A lot of women take steroids,
and that kind of made me think maybe, yeah. Like in the UK, it's legal. I do know a few black guys that do take it. I know one Jamaican British guy that takes it, and he works in recruitment, and he attracts a lot of women, and his hairline is perfectly fine, no side effects. So it is not as dangerous as people make it out to be, but it is quite common now. I'm seeing a rise.
Yeah, but you see, the fact that you're putting this much thought into it, like, just goes to show, right, what I'm saying about how important it is, like, looks is in 2025, especially in the West. I've never had the urge to take it, but I'm not gonna lie, I've been blessed with those African genetics, so I didn't have a hard time putting on muscle. I went from benching 85 pounds to 225 in 6 weeks. So, it was just kind of easy for me in that sense. But I used to look at people who take that, like, kind of like people who would take like untested substance, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, that is crazy. Like, I would never do that. And I couldn't even fathom why you would want to do that, why you want to risk your body. But like now that I see the difference, like for example, in what your friend just said, right? Your friend 9 day difference, it's like, okay, yeah, he could, let's say it does cause some side effects. Let's say he passes away like at 50 as opposed to like 80 when he should. All right, would you rather live 50 good years or 80 miserable years? You know what I mean? And you know, people say that to me. I'm like, you know what? Like, you know, I'm very health conscious, but like I understand the reasoning. Like I understand, like I used to look at surgeries and all this stuff like that. Like this is just like despicable. But like now it's like, okay, something like, you know, I guess I won't say I will never do it, but I lean towards not doing that. But it's like I now understand like why people do that. You know what I mean? Like for example, like a big thing is like the hair restoration surgery. Like you look at what happened with LeBron. I mean, I literally remember a time where literally, I mean, he's the best basketball player on the world. And the first he made fun of him, it was two things. It was the fact that he didn't have the rings, which okay, that's plausible because that's related to his career. But the other thing was, and I'm sure you all remember this if you're old enough, right? Was his hairline. So he's literally like LeBron. I mean, he's like literally Superman in the flesh. And that's what they kept coming at him, his hairline. Then he finally goes to Turkey or whatever, fixes his hairline, and there's no comments about that anymore. Like it's just go ahead.
Sorry, bro. So, Brand, the women that your friends attract, right? Are these like young black women, young white women? Because you said that he attracts 8 minimum in terms of looks. I want to know what race he attracts in terms of like looks wise. Yeah, race wise and age wise. What, 24, 23? Picking out for me, bro.
Yeah, so how I'm going to answer this, I'm going to answer this in the most valuable way possible. I've actually been blessed with the ability to accurately rate girls' faces. So if I can accurately look at a girl and be like, yeah, she's a 9 out of 10, and she is a 9 out of 10. The girls that he attracts, he is one of those black guys that do prefer white girls. I will be honest. But the white girls that he's attracting is white girls that you see white guys with. I'm just going to be honest. I've looked at them. I've seen them on the street. I'm in awe. And the women, these women have a golden ratio. They have blonde hair, blue eyes, jawline, long legs. They look Scandinavian looking. I don't know where he gets them from. He's not paying for them. You can see that they really like him. You can see that they're very interested in him. I've seen his Tinder matches, his Hinge matches. These are girls that are messaging him first of all races, average and above average and standout women. Like he really switched it around. And I've asked him like, the side effects, do you care? Do these girls know that you're taking it? And they do know he's taking it. And he said he only just takes testosterone. And he explained that it doesn't shorten your life or anything. You know, you can recover, but he's cruising on it. And most likely all men will have to go on it at some point. But, you know, that's his choice. But he all I'm going to say is I've never seen a guy attract women like that. So he definitely uses genetics and enhanced it with the testosterone, and he's yielding the benefits from it.
How tall is he?
He's shorter than me, actually. He's like 5'9".
Wow. Interesting.
He does wear like, I mean, I'm guilty of this as well. He does wear shoes with a bit of a thicker heel, maybe to make him like 5'10". But he I wouldn't say he's short. I mean, he's 5'9". But he obviously black guys, we have long arms. So he has long arms and long legs, but he's not 6 foot. And yeah, they don't even care. I've even seen him with a girl that's taller than him. And they didn't care.
Don't do it. Don't do
it. In London, Brand, or like in Birmingham, Manchester, in London? Is this happening?
Oh, in London, yeah.
I can see that. Yeah. Okay. I can see that happening. Wow.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Nah.
Do you guys hang out together at night? Do you party with him at night? You guys go to the same spots?
Yeah, I pursue. So we don't really. I don't really hang about with him that much. Like we basically we keep in contact because he's traveling a lot and things like that. He's quite a private person. He actually doesn't really use Instagram very much. He's not really heavy on social media, but he does use dating apps. Like he's one of those people that don't really use Instagram or anything, but he's got dating apps and he's got pictures. and yeah, he just lives this private lifestyle.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, what kind of spots? Like, I was trying to figure out what are some good recommendations. Like, where are people hanging out at right now? Like, what's new?
Oh, where does he go?
What's trendy? Yeah.
So what he does is he just goes anywhere. He goes to bars. He will just be out walking in Hackney or Central London, Hyde Park, and he would literally just go up to a girl and talk to them. But these girls are giving him choosing signals, if that makes sense, because he has big arms, so he leverages that. Obviously, he's a black guy as well. Whether people like it or not, being a black guy does make it a bit hard. But if you do enhance those godly genetics that us black guys of West African descent have, because of where we descend from and the gods that we descend from, you will use those godly genetics, and you will attract women. But you have to do the work, unfortunately.
What's his dressing like, bro? Obviously, he's a dark-skinned brother. Does he wear like light colors, or is it dark colors? Does he wear colors that matches that make his skin tone glow?
Yeah, so he wears like more or less dark. He might wear like a dark polo shirt with like a brown chino. So he dresses in a very sophisticated way. He wears a lot of tight, hugging clothing, smart, casual clothes. He doesn't wear like typical name brands. He doesn't even wear a lot of jewelry, to be fair. He has like maybe a ring. He has these silver rings. He did say, because of the background that he comes from, because he came from like a non-religious Muslim Nigerian background, but they stopped practicing it. He says that he doesn't wear gold because I'm not going to say why, but you probably know why, because it indicates you're part of something, which I'm not going to say. So he wears silver, and a lot of Arabs do that. They wear silver rather than gold. So that's what he does. So he wears a lot of silver. I think he does that to look a bit more masculine. But yeah, that's his style.
Can you put in the private chat? What does that mean, not wearing gold? Just type in the private chat, bro.
Okay, yeah.
I've never heard that before. So brothers in the panel, right? Like, what's your thoughts in the chat too? Like, what's your thoughts in, brothers wearing earrings, like a diamond earring on the left ear and a silver chain to make their skin pop out? I feel like dark-skinned men, if you're wearing like a diamond earring on your left ear, right, silver chain, silver bracelet, that might make you pop out. Do you guys feel, is that going too far with the earrings?
It's not my style, but I don't look down on dudes that wear jewelry at all. I have a couple of nice watches, some other stuff, but I'm not big jewelry.
Yeah, I'm not too much in jewelry, but like a good watch, or if you have like some type of necklace, I mean, that's cool. But I'm not really into the earrings, studs. Never got into that, but yeah.
Bran, Jam, do you guys wear earrings and chains?
Not me personally. I've actually been able to get away with that. I don't really have any watches or chains or rings, but it is something I'm looking into. I am looking into wearing rings and to get a watch, but I will not under any circumstances get an earring, because I don't believe that's necessary. Yeah.
Okay. I saw you. Okay, brother. Go on, bro. Go on, shot.
Not saying just have some style. Like, you don't have to do everything for women. If you have a style, just rock your style. You'll figure it out.
Exactly. Like, you should you should be dressing up there trying to look like a girl for a girl. You should be trying to, dress masculine. Just.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I agree with this. Like, this is a little too much. Like, I don't think like there's nothing to grow. Actually, I'll give you a personal anecdote to give you an example of what I'm talking about here. So I got my BMW when I was in college, right? And I did that as a way to kind of flex, on my contemporaries. It's a long story, but whatever, right? I thought the car would get me, more attention, and it did, but not in the way that I thought. It just made the girls who already liked me be more sure of their pick. You know, it didn't like there was never a time where I had my BMW and there was a girl who was on the fence or didn't like me, and then she saw the car and was like, "Oh, okay, I'm down now." It was more so it was a girl who already liked me, and then we went back to my car and she was like, "Oh, okay, now I really like this guy." So it's like you kind of have to like when you're talking about like earrings or like they don't know. Like the first thing I notice is like your looks. You know, you're in shape, your charisma, like the way you approach. Like that's the first thing I notice, and then all those little like I feel like if you're getting to that detail, it's like you're missing the big picture.
I mean, if you're a detailed person, like just be you. Like I'm in the fashion and style because I like it. I'm in the whips too. So I would love to talk to you guys just fashion in general. Like what kind of kicks do you wear? I'm a big suit guy, or I'm in my ball clothes for the most part. So I got all my basketball kicks, whatever. I got hats, shirts, vests, everything. You know, I'm always looking at trying to find some funny t-shirts to wear. I like to do the t-shirt sport coat thing. What's the last pair of shoes you bought?
Kyrie's. But Kyrie's. I got a whole bunch of basketball shoes. That's kind of my main dress. In fact, if you really want to know my dress wear, it's mainly like the Adidas tracksuits. Yeah. I got them in almost like every acceptable color. Like not the crazy colors. I'm not wearing like pink or red or anything like that. And then I got a bunch of basketball shoes. I just kind of like mix and match like form-fitting shirts. That's kind of how I do it.
Like right now the Knicks are on, right? So if we went to the sports bar right now just to kick it, just homies, what are you wearing to the sports bar?
I'm wearing Knicks colors. So I just not going to do it. Yeah. But same tracksuit. I'll probably just wear my blue tracksuit, maybe wear like a orange plaid shirt, and then wear my orange Kyrie's. I got like the every color. No, I'm not, but I'm going to a Knicks bar, right? So I gotta make sure I get out in one piece.
No, I'm just saying if we're just going to a sports bar just to kick it. I'm a Knicks fan because I'm from New York, but I'm just saying, just in general, like me, I don't know. I'm like jeans, boots, black wife beater or t-shirt, and then I have on like a looser fitting button-up shirt unbuttoned on top. That's kind of like one of my standard bar outfits. It's great.
Yeah, I'll have like a loose shirt, something like a Gaiabara or a Paisley.
There you
That's
go.
kind of yeah.
But what kind of kicks though?
Kicks? Oh man, I'm old school, man. So I'll get me some nice golf shoes. I got like some Johnston's and Murphy's.
There you go.
Oh yeah, man.
All right. So let me share my screen, right? Share screen. All right. So what are your thoughts, right, on left ear diamond earring like this on a dark skinned brother, like that, but a bit bigger? And how do you feel about actually not actually piercing your ear, but getting like a fake diamond earring? So it's a fake one. It's like a clip-on diamond earring on for your left ear. Is that well? What's your thoughts there?
I ain't gonna hold you. Either go in and go or not at all. Like go big or go home. Like either do it or don't. Because I'm telling you right now, if that girl sees you with the fake clip on, it's going to be a turn off. It's going to be what they call the ick. So you either get the pierce or you don't. And this is coming from someone who has no piercings. Like I don't do any body modifications. I just don't believe in that. I'm not going to alter my body. And I'm the only one in my family who hasn't altered my body. But if I am going to get that look, I'm going to get the piercing. I'm not going to do the fake. Like I thought about it. I thought about getting the studs and the magnetic piercings, but it's just like when someone sees it, I can be like, dude, what? Like it's just weird. It's just weird. Like it just doesn't. I'm just being honest here.
I mean, it's like just putting your ear, bro. Take it out.
No, I'm telling you, I've seen the way women react to that. Like I've seen people with the fake. Like you get clowned immediately when they find it's fake. Like I'm just telling you. Like it's kind of like wearing fake. Like it's weird because it's like the whole like fake thing is about like spending cheap, like less money, right? In order to like in like perceiving like you're spending more. But it's kind of like the same thing where it's like kind of like wearing fake J's, where like fake earrings, and they see that it's like. They look at you like, oh, why are you doing that? It's like, oh, I don't want to. Okay, well then why don't you just? It's kind of like I would say it's kind of like, for example, like me, I'm just owning it. I'm not wearing piercings. I don't have any ears piercings. And I feel like when a girl sees that, she's like, why don't you just own? Like, if you don't want to get your ears pierced, like, why are you like faking like you have it? Like, why don't you just own what you have? You know what I mean? Like, why don't you just own who you are? And so I just don't think that's a good look. I think either. It's a good look. Like I think girls like the ear piercings, but it has to be real. Like it can't be fake. Like I think when they see that, it's definitely gonna be an ick. It might not be like a turn off. She might still talk to you, whatever. But I don't think she's gonna look at that favorably.
You got a handsome face, it's a handsome face. Wearing an earring is not going to make an ugly guy cute.
Facts, facts, bro.
That's the long and the short of it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like if you were to go in some open toe and you're wearing socks, like, or you're wearing Crocs, you just don't do that. I mean, you're either going to be, show some skin on your feet, or just wear a regular shoe.
That ankle cleavage.
Yeah,
I'm brand loyal, man. I do Echo for my dress.
Okay, so you know what's funny? Like, I'm that dude that you're talking about. I'm the dude who wore the socks, bro, and I got flamed for that so hard. I didn't know that's a thing. Like, that's a thing, huh? Like, be like, why are you wearing socks to the beach? I'm just used to wearing socks.
Okay,
That's not my thing.
Bran, what's your thoughts, brother? Getting a fake clip-on diamond earring.
Yeah, I actually had a conversation with someone not too long ago about this. My left ear is actually pierced, but I haven't ever had an earring in my ear since I was 12. But I think if it is silver and it's a clip-on ear, to be honest, if a girl likes you and it looks good, she won't care. I don't think she will care, to be honest. So I think it could work. It won't work when it comes to women who don't like you, but in terms of your image, it can enhance your image and make you look more approachable. It can make a girl more, it can ease the situation and make her open up to you a lot more. Whereas maybe if you don't have an earring, you might not look, how can I say, depending on the girl, they might not perceive you as more approachable. So it can feminize you a little bit, but not in a bad way. So I think it can be a good move for sure.
I'm thinking like it may be done to like make your skin stand out. Cause I'm trying to like, I feel like your skin tone is very important. You want to like maximize your skin tone. So if you're dark skin, bright colors, silver chain, your skin's got to be popping. You want to make probably like a yellow t-shirt, orange t-shirt. If you're very light skin, obviously darker colors, right? So I'm just thinking like, how can I make my skin tone pop out, right? Silver chain, maybe a left earring diamond clip-on, just for my skin tone to pop out. But maybe I'm overthinking things. Maybe I think a silver chain is probably best. I
think you're overthinking it. The main thing about a lot of jewelry is that it gives the lady, if you're going out meeting strangers, right? It gives the lady something to comment on about you, so she can get the conversation going or continue it.
Facts.
It can help as well because it makes it gives a glitter feel to your skin. So if you have a watch, like a big watch that's silver and glittery, in pictures you can see a nice bezel, so that shines, and that can allow you on dating apps to get more matches because you're more photogenic based on the jewelry. So that does actually help.
Facts, absolute facts. Awesome conversation so far. I want to crash out on the other platforms in a bit, but I think you feel free to call in on the other platforms. But I may end the YouTube stream, so I crash out a bit on the other platforms. Let's go for another 5-10 minutes, if possible, and then we'll wrap up on YouTube, and then we'll move on to the other platforms. 5p to crash out and speak his mind on certain topics. So now, just bringing it back to lust, right? I just want to like mention in terms of now, when you're abroad for anyone, right? Like I remember when I was in Japan last year, I kid you not, left, right, forward, center, when you see beautiful women all around you, I almost went crazy. Like I almost like reached a point where should I just throw it out the window and just like get a chick, run through a bunch of them in enough hotels? Like, can I ask what stops you, right, from going ham, from turning away from your principles? Like, what stops you from being in Brazil right now, getting a bunch of brown skin Brazilian chicks running through them? What's stopping you from doing that right now, brothers?
It's like I said before, it gets old, dude. Like, you know what I mean? It gets old. You can do that, and then you can do that forever. Like, you can do that for the rest of your life. Like, it gets old, and it's detrimental to your goals as well. It's detrimental to your goals, your health. like a lot of my bad habits came from me just attempting to like get women. So after a while, you kind of have to just chill on that. But what I will say is I do admire your your looks maxing journey while abstaining from like the culture in Britain. You know what I mean? Just knowing that you're doing that for your next like the next place you're going to be going to, because that's kind of what I was doing when I was preparing for my trip from Miami to Brazil. Like I was preparing myself, but it was difficult to like not partake, to have discipline like that. So I see what you're doing right now. It just reminds me of like when I was preparing to come here to Brazil. But but anyway, I'm speaking too long. I apologize.
I mean, what got old for you though? Like what got old?
Well, I think I just got a girl that I really liked, and I didn't feel like getting drunk every day again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you have a girlfriend or
yeah.
whatnot, that's fine. I mean, that's what's up. I mean,
But even if I didn't have a girl though, even if I didn't have a girl though, like going out, like I was going out like 4 times a week when I first got here, like at least 4 times a week. So after a while, it just gets a little too much. You know what I mean? I don't know. For me personally, it was just a little too much.
Well, it's your time, it's your energy, and like when you give it to a woman, it's like you're giving your life force away. So you have to, keep that in mind as well.
See, I don't know. I'm an ENFP. I recharge in social situations, right? I work alone, and then I'll go to my local dive bar or whatever, and then hang out there, and all kinds of mayhem happens.
I mean, both are true. Both are true. I mean, I don't have a problem going out, but for me, it's like, doing other activities, being sociable, keeps you from having an urge to doing, those things.
Yeah, I play ball every day. I say I mess with the tennis. Like tennis is great to hang out with people, and then usually it's the same crowd in some spots, right? The tennis crowd, they hang out at a certain bar. The basketball heads and like the CrossFit heads, they have a bar, and this is around the world. Any city is the same format.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talk about bar, like for me, singing and dancing, like
karaoke spots. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I find going out too often messes with my routine, and that's like really like my routine is really what keeps me grounded, and like going away from that too much. That's really the thing that I don't like about that. Because if you go out, you might say, okay, I'm going to come back by 2, but then the night comes, it's fun, and then you're back at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, or what I mean, and then you're waking up and you're groggy. Like that's really what it is for me. So if you're able to stay very disciplined and like leave early and all that stuff, but I can't do that. I'll be honest with you. If I'm there, I'm easily swayed. Like I'm having a good time. I know I should leave, but I'm probably not going to. Like that's the reason why it's like it's just better for me just not to even be in that scene in the first place, because I know I'll be easily swayed once I'm there.
What routine are you trying to keep?
Sorry. Bran, do you want to say anything? Your point before I move over to Rumble?
Yeah, I just want to say basically, then we're going back to lust. You don't want to be going out too much and stuff like that. You just want to focus on yourself. And also, like, in terms of why I'm not out in Brazil, because I see that as temporary. I prefer quality over quantity. I'd rather have one woman than multiple women. I mean, I'm, not in my early 20s anymore. So it kind of gets old and it's a bit boring and, it's unsustainable for me personally. But yeah.
Awesome. All right, brothers. Thank you very much. If you can all drop off, Brian, reach out to me on IG when you can. That'd be great. I'm moving over to Rumble. You guys can coordinate on Rumble if you want to. But I'm going to move over to Rumble. Okay. Thank you, brothers. So, brothers, we're going over to Rumble right now. Okay. So the Rumble is where I'm going to crash out for a bit. Okay. So the link in the Rumble is over here in the chat. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to go over to Rumble. Okay, 5 minutes. Go over to Rumble right now. IP going to crash out on Rumble. Okay, IP crash out session up next on Rumble. Yeah, I got 5 minutes. Get yourselves over there to Rumble. Make an account. Subscribe to the Rumble channel. Okay, it's more of a freer speech over there, Rumble. I can speak more freely. Okay, so crash out session up next. I'll give you 5 minutes. Okay, let me get some water. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit, man. IP crash out session up next on Rumble. Okay, 4 more minutes. Move over to Rumble. Get yourselves over there. Crash that session up next. We're gonna crash out in a bit. Let's get it cracking, man. Let's get it cracking. Crash out. Because sometimes, right, you want to speak your effing mind, right? But I can't speak my mind on YouTube. So Rumble, Kick, Twitch, I can crash out for a bit. I can say F it, the world is mine. F it, man. We can speak our mind, man, on Rumble for a minute, okay? So crash out session up next on Rumble. Let's get it cracking, man. And guess what, right? I got a lot to say. Today, we only on Rumble. We only on Rumble. Get on Rumble. Rumble. Okay? Today, just Rumble. Go over to Rumble. Okay? I got a lot to say, bro. Got a lot to flip and say. 3 more minutes, get on Rumble. 3 more minutes, get on Rumble. Two more minutes, we're on Rumble. IP got a lot to say, man. I got a lot to say, bro. A lot been on my mind for a minute, man. I need to just speak my mind about certain topics, certain thoughts on Rumble, and just speak about certain things, man. I want all the man them. I want all the man them on Rumble, bruv. Everyone on Rumble. Get yourself on Rumble right now. Only Rumble today. Only on Rumble today. Okay, so get yourself on Rumble right now. I'm gonna give you 1 more minute, and I think gonna crash out, man. About certain things. It's been a funny week, and I wanna speak my mind on a lot of things, man. Speak up my mind on a lot of things. A lot been on my mind for a minute, right? So I'm going to end the YouTube stream right now. We are now only on Rumble. I'm going to end Rumble. I'm going to end Kick, Twitch, and Facebook. So we're now only on Rumble. Okay? So get yourself on Rumble right now for the live stream. We're now only on Rumble. So Facebook stream ended. YouTube stream now ended. Go on Rumble.